and welcome back to Reading Homestuck Hiveswap Friendsim. We got Mason, Arthur, and June here today.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
There we go. Unlike the last recording we did, very nice and evenly spaced out. Don't think there's anything really to say or do before we get into things, so let's get into things. Down to 14. Alright, who wants to do narration today? I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did narration last time. Mason did the voice last time.
I don't know what I did last. I'm sorry. It's been like 2 weeks.
You were at a con last time.
Yeah,
no,
I
know what I know. I was at a con.
As,
I don't remember what happened.
We're just gonna
2
treat
weeks.
that
That's
as
right.
a. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Right. So. June, you want to take narration?
Can do.
There's been 2 weeks of you not having. Whatever.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
And proceed.
This is a dark world. Both because it's night and because of the brutal struggle for survival among its polyhechromatic...
I don't know why they just decided to do that.
Among its polyhemochromatic inhabitants, many of whom seem to thrive on havoc and carnage.
Hey guys, I used a long word.
Oh,
Check it out, everybody.
Big word means smart. SMRT.
Yeah, I put a long ass word into my text. That means I'm smart and good at writing, guys. Didn't you know?
I love Sonic.
You'd be interested to see the Michelin Guide entry for Alternia. You're convinced that after a day here, Ayn Rand would sign up with the Little Sisters of the Poor. Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun would join the Quakers. And, can we even say that name?
We said it last time. We can just go.
Okay, Adolf Hitler would seek membership in the World Peace Council.
Okay, Adolf Hitler.
Okay, Adolf.
Okay, everybody, Hitler.
Okay, everyone, the main protagonist of Persona 2. I said antagonist, right? Not protagonist.
No, you said I was like,
I just believed you. I don't know shit about Persona 2. I just believed
I know about
you
Persona 3, I know about Persona 4, I know about Persona 5, but
I know
people don't talk
Persona
about
5 has. I know Persona 5 has like just full shonen anime protagonist. Persona 4 has. I know some people in Persona 3. And Persona 3, you shoot yourself in the head.
Yeah, I'm going to Persona 3 myself right now, but no, Hitler's the antagonist of Persona 2.
Okay.
Whew. Anyway.
And they had to censor him and give him shades and call him Führer in the Western version.
Well, I mean, I don't see how that does that much to obscure it.
Reminds me how they
Also,
censored.
isn't he like, if you're making Hitler the bad guy, I feel like that's the right thing to do. Like, you can be like,
Yeah, I feel like you kind of should do that. Like,
Germany's not a fan of that.
take a Wolfenstein.
Yeah, remember Wolfenstein?
Yeah, you can't really. I'm like at least for a good while legally, you couldn't even like reference the Nazis, let alone
Yar.
You know.
Anyway,
not at all.
Yeah, pretty for a good while, Germany would just like censor any direct
in
reference
Germany,
to Nazis.
no. But
well, that's
like,
what I mean. But like, I figure they just didn't bother to do anything really with the.
I think they just like blanket did it.
I think they just went, well, yeah, the Japanese version, and then shit, we'll just modify it for all localized regions because we cannot be bothered to do all of these different localized variants. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Godwin's lore alert. Been a little dramatic tonight. Better make a name for myself.
And in we go. Clown Child.
Having learned the dangers of using the public thoroughfares, you've taken to dodging down byways and skulking in rear areas, trying to spy out individuals who look ripe for friendship, while avoiding the more criminally insane denizens.
What do you get?
Just now, you're following a winding footpath through the undergrowth, surrounding a neighborhood where the local hives are spaced far apart. You came creeping along this footpath for safety. You should have known better. The undergrowth here is like most of the other life forms on Alternia, involved to ruthlessly purge the gene pool of weak and the reasonable. Coiled, spring-loaded stalks with foot-long thorns flank writhing bushes with razor-edged leaves, which in turn crowd tentacle flora with tooth lobes oozing liquid that hisses and smokes when it touches the ground. Why is it like this?
What the fuck?
This is
I mean,
Alternia.
that's like a description, like a thing.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's just because I'm like barely awake right now.
Yeah, I think it's the slightly sleep born haze here.
Eat brain. Eat
Sleep
brain.
brain.
I feel like I should put on the fucking David Attenborough voice. Fucking,
It'd be funny.
just as it's needed in every circumstance on this planet. I forgot what he sounds like.
Do we want to switch over to Arthur for the Alternia?
No, we're good. I'll read it. I'll read everything.
Hey, alright, fair enough.
While your time on Alternia has gotten you accustomed to injuries, you still shrink from being impaled on sprung thorns and dissolved in acid. I got impaled by thorns yesterday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Sam, I got dissolved in acid.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah,
stop
me
my
when.
cat from eating
Oh, look at
meat.
that. I've been impaled.
Little bastard. You should have known that eventually you would have come up against the local flora. So you proceed discreetly, avoiding poison fronds and trying not to step on trigger roots.
And that one, the game itself, Mr. Word, which isn't helping matters.
But suddenly your vegetative focus is interrupted. You hear footsteps on the path. And then around the corner comes a small figure.
I will say, before I show this kid sign off, which I will be in a second, we have been informed to wait to not decide on a voice fully for a few lines.
Okay.
Can't say, I don't know why, but we have been informed to like hold off on a certain decision on locking it in. But this creature before us has the sign of Caprira, sign of the unwavering, mindbound, which actually makes him our fifth mindbound, bringing it to an even tie with hope.
Oh.
Yep, 10 out of 28 are these two aspects alone.
And there's still one aspect that hasn't had one at all, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me
Is it
just
life?
check the list.
is
Yeah,
it heart?
life. No, we've had a few heartbound at this point. We've had a couple heartbound.
Oh yeah, we have had a couple heartbound.
Yeah. Fucking. I'm not gonna bother finding them in the list. But
Yeah.
life, we have had zilch. We have had no lifebound so far.
Oof.
And we are
Life,
well
it
over
never
the halfway.
die.
Life did not find a way here. It's just not present.
Life, just die. Women aren't my favorite guy.
But I don't like the painted horns though. So
Yeah, it reminds me of a zebra.
I just keep looking at this
Looks like
kid,
a
and I
looks like
just
a
keep
Deborah.
expecting the like Lythero silver voice to come out.
Yes, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
We're gonna okay, we're gonna test run Silver the Hedgehog kind of thing. Which
until he reveals his secret form that I'm expecting
I can try that
based
if you
on
want.
that comment.
Great.
Yeah, sure, we can have you do
That's actually good because I was actually watching the Silver campaign yesterday.
Alright.
Do not fear the man who has practiced 1,000 moves. Fear the man who has practiced one move 1,000 times.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say, Mason, at 7, I've added a +1 in case I move it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna put in here Silver the Hedgehog question mark.
Okay.
Mason question mark.
Mason?
Mason? Silver the Hedgehog?
Painted with smudged black and white marks. Despite its diminutive physique, it has some of the most impressive horns you've seen on any troll.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh dear.
Then the small figure sees you too, and is so startled it jumps a foot, impaling its horns in an overhanging tree branch and sticking there so that its small legs pump helplessly in the air. Bro.
Yeah, I got a clown horn ready.
Okay.
I'll take the horn.
Of course you have a horn ready. You beg the small person's pardon and assure him you were fully as startled as he is. You go on to explain that you are not dangerous, but even if you were, you would not want to come to strife with even a small person with horns of that size. Oh. I think I know what's happening here. Yes, you will be happy to help him down as long as he promises not to attack you with the many bladed weapons that are stuffed into his belt, or with the dozen cans of an inexpensive soft drink held in bandoliers crossing his chest. It strikes you suddenly that a neighborly gesture, like helping someone whose horns are stuck in a tree branch, can scarcely fail to kindle the light of friendship. You dare to hope that this will be the case now. Edging forward, you get close enough to see that around the small clown's neck hangs a dog tag or ID necklace. You tilt your head and crane your neck to read the writing on it.
Yo!
Kakaro Piero. If lost, call Bronya Sama. Getting into Mad Barrier, but suddenly this all makes sense. This Kakaro Piero.
It's Caraco.
It's Caraco.
It's Caraco.
Caraco? Oh,
Caraco. Yeah, you swap the K's and R's.
I might be stupid. I
may be stupid.
We're some a little stupid.
We're some a little
Caraco.
dumb.
Caraco Piero. Caraco Piero. This Caraco Piero must have been one of Bronya's reject wrigglers, who, having grown to childhood under her tender care, has gone out into the world to seek his fortune.
You know, he does kind of remind me a little bit of the boss from Kirby, the Krakow boss.
That would account for his small size, short legs, and small stature relative to his horns. You eagerly pull out your palm husk, happy for an excuse to pester an old friend, but you've got zero signal out here. You wonder if the surrounding vegetation eats palm husk signals, just as it looks like it eats everything else. You disappointedly slip your palm husk back into your pocket. You apologize for the delay, explaining that you were surprised to find you appear to have an acquaintance in common, whom you hope you will have time to discuss later. For now, you are ready, willing, and hopefully able to help him down. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. It's not that you object to bladed weapons, or those who stuff dozens of them in their belts, but you feel that the ones he's wearing could ruin your look if buried in your torso, however unintentionally. You edge past the weapons, being careful also not to touch the spring thorns growing at the edge of the path or their trigger roots. Once you're behind Karako, you grasp his horns firmly and pull, withdrawing them from the tree branch and allowing him to drop lightly to the ground.
You're really waiting to be able to actually say a fucking line at this point, ain't you?
I think I caught on.
Just like, oh, please.
Oh no! He doesn't speak English.
Or everything's just gonna be...
Does that mean that you're doing the voice today?
I fucking guess. We'll keep you on Silver in the background just in case he actually says words instead of...
Just
Mason's just sat there forever.
It's over here on the bench.
just like Silver!
Yeah! Anyway.
You tell him he's very welcome, and that there's a moment of awkward silence as you try to think of something else to say. Fortunately, your new potential friend is not devoid of the social graces as you are, and gets the conversational ball rolling himself.
Mason is... This is a bad day to be Mason. I think if he genuinely doesn't say a single line this whole time, I might genuinely just title this episode A Bad Day for Mason.
Okay.
Because we just like, yeah, Mason, you can do the voice. No. You can't do a voice if the voice is just... forever.
Sadly, I don't have anything in reach that approximates the sound of a clown horn.
Oh,
You explain that you're indeed a stranger in these parts, and that you don't actually fit into any of the hemo spectrum categories. Wild, right?
Trauma dumping immediately, what?
Immediate trauma dumping
Wow.
child.
Not uncommon for the MSPA reader.
I mean, it's not uncommon, but still.
Although, not quite as strange as you used to be, you'd like to think. You really starting to blend in with the local colour. Well, you'd rather not exhibit your blood just now. You're a couple quarts low due to the robust conditions of life on Alternia, some of which you have recently had the honor of encountering, even. I don't speak.
I'm trying to do different honks for each emotional reaction.
Yeah, really bring out the range of the clown
I
horn.
don't know if it's necessarily working, because all I can do
I
with
can
this
feel
is...
the intention behind it.
You sympathize. Slinking along these hidden paths in the Alternian woods can be tough on the morale. The smell alone is enough to make strong men weep. The vegetation looks like it was designed by the Marquis de Sade. Not that he knows who the Marquis de Sade is.
I don't know who the Marquis de Sade is.
It's where the word sadism comes from.
I see.
What the fuck
Is it also where that
sound?
sound comes from?
I like how we're just basically Chewbacca-ing this. But we MSPA reader fully understands him. We have no fucking clue what he's saying.
The S in MSPA reader stands for solo.
You can't help
the M stands for Mahan.
Oh
no, that's a different guy. Oh no, that's a different guy.
No, not
Let's
him.
move on. June line. Let's proceed and forget that ever happened.
You can't help but feel it would be so much better if one only had a skulk body. You continue.
If one only had a brain.
Yeah, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, for real.
How wonderful it would be
the heat wave
to travel
yesterday
these
melted all my
dusty
neurons.
lanes with a kindred spirit, a twin soul, a fellow adventurer, an intimate crony. You're such an expert on Friendsim by now. No, you haven't met anyone like that either, but you certainly would like to.
Why the capitalization here?
Missing full stop, I presume.
I'm just imagining the MSP
Only
reader
potential
is
friend.
developing their own typing quirk, and it involves typos. It involves just being bad at writing sentences.
Yes. No, it all makes sense now.
It's all intentional.
I understand it now. Your new potential friend is obviously thinking seriously about this issue. So you back off, give him space, you pretend to be deeply immersed in studying one of the razor-sharp leaves on one of the writhing bushes beside the path. You aren't one to try to force yourself on others or try to unduly influence their friendship, except for that one time and that one time and that one time.
Yeah, are you sure about that, MSP? Oh, okay, well there you go.
Development, I guess.
Okay, well, maybe you forced yourself on others in the past and tried to influence their friendship decisions. Maybe you've even done this a lot. But you recently evolved as a person, which makes everything okay. You know that friendship is something that has to come authentically from within. Friendship is spontaneous. Real friendship sprouts naturally from the soil of mutual respect. The best friendships grow and ripen over years, and are not rushed or forced. Of course, you've known this small person for about 5 minutes, but you have to start ripening sometime. You're reflecting on the theme of friendship, and a loud pause suddenly from the sky above you. It's a crackling, sizzling sound, like a chitinous thing with too many legs struggling in a hot frying pan. Kakaro jumps so violently that he nearly gets his horn stuck in the tree again. Looking up, you see a floating metal object, vaguely troll-shaped. Huge, faceless metal and with numerous sets of lightning bolt-shaped horns coming out of its head and neck. It's not very sparkling. It's not a very sparkling conversationalist. It remains in a flat, echoing blare. It elaborates further.
Alright. Okay, what are we doing with here? Are we running? Or are we leaping to our proto-friend's aid?
Well, see, my gut instinct would be that run is the bad ending, but last time
I'm a fraud.
Last time we minded our own business, it actually ended up being the right thing to do.
Let's put the MSP reader on fraud watch.
We're running away, or are we leaping? What's your thoughts, June, here?
Let's run.
I want to run.
Run?
I want to run. I'm a coward. I want to... Scary monster.
Alright, cheese it, lads.
You run in a wild panic. It's a drone. Even the Alternian badasses you've hung out with have been terrified of the drones. Up close, it's one of the most terrifying things you've ever seen. And it's making noises which you didn't even know they even did, which probably means something sinister. You race at top speed down the twisting path, focusing your senses to their breaking point to avoid trigger roots, razor leaves, and acid pools. At first, you hear the pattering of small feet behind you, but as you redouble your speed, the pattering falls back, and after a while is lost in the distance. You sprint for what seems like a lifetime before you finally catch your foot on a trigger root and go flying through the air, barely missing being sliced into 100 pieces of tumbling ham by the barbed spring vine that lashes across the path, only inches behind you. You land in the dirt, wind knocked out of you, but otherwise unhurt. You lie there catching your breath, waiting and waiting. Nothing happens. No enormous metal monster whizzes down the path to impale you. No small clown-faced individual overtakes you on his short legs. Finally, after enough, nothing happens. You pick yourself up and dust yourself off. You're alone on the path. No sound of either friend or potential friend or foe can be heard. No birds sing, which is probably good. You imagine that any birds native to this forest would probably sing by croaking up putrid sludge, and that sludge would be poisonous or radioactive. But leaving aside the character of the local fauna, what should you do? Keep on the path, putting more distance between yourself and the drone? Should you go back and see if Kakaro is okay? You waffle for a while, then decide to go back. You sneak back along the path. Sneak a long, long way. But however far you go, there are no signs of either Kakaro or the drone.
You've been saying Kakaro again.
Oh, fuck. I've been doing... Oh, Karako! I'm going to kill myself.
Bruh.
I'm going to Persona 3 myself.
Pick yourself up, take a deep breath, dust yourself off, and start all over again.
This is what, like, YouTube Shorts fucking creators or TikTokers should use. They shouldn't say unalive anymore. They should say when they're talking about something like that, they shouldn't say, oh yeah, he unalived himself. No. He Persona 3'd himself.
And then he Persona 3'd his own mother.
I picked that up off of different small YouTube channel.
I mean, very fair.
So
it's a good
one. Big up Spelgy. I love the alt block.
Hell yeah.
Block.
Anyway, remember it is Karako.
You don't know whether the drone picked Karako up and took him away, or disemboweled him and scattered the fragments, or whether Karako leapt into the undergrowth and hid or escaped, or what. One way or another, you're alone again on this path through shit smell forest. It just looks like he gave up on life and hollowed out.
Yeah.
I think the MSP Arena might Persona 3 themselves.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Lot of Persona 3 going on here.
Look, it's a thing that happens.
Let's leap to our proto friend's aid.
See, they capitalized it for you, June.
Aid. Thinking quickly, you push Karako against
Remembering this timeline!
It's like they know.
The first timeline, we're officially naming the first timeline, is the Kakaro timeline.
Oh god, that reminds me of,
It's the Kakarot timeline.
It reminds me of this really funny thing that they had to do. I think it was Honkai Star Rail, because all of the gods use they them pronouns, but no one was calling it them. They updated the game so it's always capitalized. Their pronouns are always capitalized. So you literally, like, it's in all caps, so you literally cannot, like, get it wrong.
Yeah, seriously. I think, honestly, with later Deltarune chapters, Toby Fox should just make it so that Chris's they, them pronouns are in, like a font size that's, like, 8 point larger than any other font in the menus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, Chris, level 5. They, them!
Yeah,
anyway,
so
you push Karako.
you push Karako against a large rock that juts out of the undergrowth nearby and jump in front of him, shielding him from the drone with your body. You then pretend to be leaning against the rock in an attitude of tranquil repose. Several of the bladed weapons in Karako's belt No, I didn't write this time.
You said Karako this time. No, it's Kakarot now. This is Goku, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Goku.
It's me, Goku.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
Is that why we were told to hold off on the voice because we'd accidentally?
Because we had to make it Goku,
and then we were forced.
Forced at gunpoint. It has to be Goku.
I guess I don't get to be in this video.
Bye, guys.
Anyway, poke you in the ass, but you don't let this show on your face. Instead, you yawn elaborately and check your wristwatch. You don't have a wristwatch, but you don't think the drones know what a wristwatch is anyway. You pretend to smoke a non-existent cigarette. Again, you're not giving anything away. Because drones don't know what cigarettes are either.
So what we're saying is, MSPA Reader's big plan is to be a mime.
Of things that the drone would not understand.
SMH.
SMH my head. Anyway.
But the drone has apparently taken an interest in you. It floats down between the trees and undergrowth and hovers above the path, several meters from where you're pretending to relax against a rock after a long day of hiking through the scenic shit-smell forest. It's quite a terrifying sight, actually. Scroozle, the drone, observes soullessly, making Karako jump so that several of your internal organs are threatened. However, you maintain what you believe the local populace would call a stiff upper whistle pillow.
Yeah.
The drone's blank metal head studies you. Or it could be studying something in the opposite direction, or even taking the drone equivalent of a piss, because you can't really tell from its expression, because it has no features to make expressions with. This examination or non-examination continues for some time. But your diminutive...
smaller again.
It feels like they just decide to do this sometimes.
Just use more text boxes at this point, gang. Or like...
Well, your diminutive potential friend is well hidden from view, and after a while evidently concluding that you are an inanimate object that makes unaccountable gestures with its wrists and fingers, the drone floats upward again, gaining speed until a dreary... It whizzes off somewhere to find another hapless non-standard citizen to euthanize.
Another hapless non-standard citizen to Persona 3.
Yeah.
To Persona... Well, no. Persona 3 would be them doing it to themselves.
Yeah.
He would just be killing them.
Yeah, that's just murder. That's just a different thing.
No, the drone
murder.
The drone puts a gun in the troll's hand, puts the troll's hand up to the troll's head, and makes it Persona 3 itself.
Just physically puppeteers them to make it happen.
Assisted Persona 3.
He just pulls out a deagle, checks the ammunition, cocks the gun, puts it in the troll's hand, and then hits the fucking is it the Hajime no Ippo? The fucking hand on shoulder meme with the guy with the fucking massive ass chin.
Oh, the one that you had posted.
Yeah, the one from a while ago. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think that's from Hajime no Ippo.
Couldn't tell you.
It's fine.
That came in between the sprays.
Anyway.
When it's gone, you stand away from the rock and rub several store places that have been pierced by bladed weapons. You turn to Carico to comment on the recent fervor, but stop when you see the look he's directing at you. A warm and admiring look, an affectionate and esteeming look, a look of friendship. Imagine if that's just it.
You get one choice. That's it. It's a very short route, much like Carico is. Short.
Your first impulse is to throw your arms around him and lean in, but on second thought, remembering your pants arsenal, you...
His pants arsenal?
His pants arsenal. I can't read. Alex, I can't read.
I'm aware of that. Why do you... Why do we do this?
You put out your hand for a warm handshake. Victory is so close. But before you can seal the deal on this sweet friendship transaction, you hear a disturbance further down the path. God, calm the narrative chill for a single moment. Especially a moment when you're about to consummate a beautiful friendship. God. You turn to look. The footsteps, several sets of them, get nearer. And around the bend come three figures. Three figures wearing swimming outfits, lots of gold jewelry, and insouciant expressions.
Never seen that one before.
Neither have I, actually.
That's a new
Three
one.
figures with gills on their necks. And small stylized fins on their face. Oh god.
Oh dear, this is a problem.
Oh man. Is it possible
insouciant, casual lack of concern, indifference.
Huh. You learn something
Is
new
it possible
every day.
you finally happened upon a group of the legendary sea dwellers? They stop short when they see you and Carico.
When they see you and Son Goku.
I mean, I would too.
I'd be pretty surprised if I turned a corner and just
Obviously
saw some weird little creature and also Son Goku.
Yeah,
Aura farming with Goku.
Now, if you want aura farming, you go with Piccolo.
Yeah, that man
knows
was on
how
the
to farm. That man knows how to do that.
Bro's been on the farms. He's harvested the aura.
Yeah, Goku's just a regular farmer.
Yeah.
Obviously startled. They study you. You study them. Then Finhead Interloper 1, in a one piece and diamond earrings, whispers to her companions and all three burst out laughing. Finhead Interloper 2, in a violet wetsuit and rings, slaps her thighs.
Oh my
Also apparently a whale.
Yep.
Is that outside of my house? What?
I think so.
So.
Not my house! What?
Bruh.
Arr, the white whale. I
And
hear a
Finhead
cart.
Interloper 3, in checkered swimming trunks, holds his sides.
The white whale.
Part of you is relieved. Laughter drives out the devil. Is the best medicine, and in any event, is better than homicidal mania. On the other hand, this laugh isn't friendly. It's cold, mocking, and supercilious. These sea dwellers are obviously laughing at you, not with you.
Oh.
You notice Carico's cheeks flushing purple under his face paint, and his jaw clenching. However, he just stares with stony dignity at the interlopers. This just makes them laugh harder. The first sea dweller says...
Well, you can take a voice, just make one up on the fly, I don't know.
What are you supposed to be? Shrimp Cassidy and the Squanimous Kid, says her second companion. I don't
know what that word is either.
I think it's not a word. I think it's just...
No, it is a word. Squamous cell carcinoma, also known as epidermoid carcinoma, comprises a number of different types of cancer that begin on the squamous cells.
Oh.
Yeah, carcinoma means cancer.
Well, yeah, it's just a matter of...
the kid.
Well, yeah, I know carcinoma means cancer. I didn't know squamous was a word.
Squamous, so it refers to a flat, stretched, like, tissue.
Well, I guess the MSPA reader is bald.
Squamous epithelium of the lung.
You learn something new twice every day. We learned a lot today. A lot of random information. Anyway.
Right, I want that. A crab-bait minnow and its mutated soft-shell crab. Says her.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah, anyways.
I don't know. Looks like the minimal one went down on the clown, causing it to spread out the other one.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't want to know.
That's what I
choose not to know. I feel like, unfortunately, I would be able to figure it out, but I don't want to.
Glowering is like being mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the previous one. I know what glowering is. The previous.
I thought that's what you asked.
No.
You continue expressionless at these insults, but to your dismay, Karako's face is taking on a harsh, glowering look. You guess that such a tiny dude probably has been victimized by bullies all his whole life, and as you happen to know, there are no bullies like Alternian bullies.
What's probably mean? Thank you.
You tell him to let them talk all the shit they want. Don't let them provoke him. They're trying to get him to do something stupid, and if he doesn't react, they'll get bored and go away. No, remember that drone? It's probably still around here somewhere. Touch a scale in their heads, and they could you could be rendered into mother grub feedstock. Hey,
a voice, just any voice.
Hey, bottom feeders, no whispering when you're in the presence of your bathers, and you little boy, put a respectful expression on your recognition surface.
I like how that is the default random voice we do. I pull that one out as well. Whenever we're asked for a random voice, we go, "Hey, boys."
I don't know. Okay.
Alternia's less important population. It's just a whole bunch of like
wise guys.
40s gangster goons, just like, "Hey, boss, I'm a sea dweller for some reason."
Hey, boss, I'm in the water.
Hey, I'm in the water, boss. I'm out of here.
Hey, boss, I got in the water.
Anyway.
Hey, boss, I'm getting waterboarded.
Oh.
Anyway.
Be more like your friend, the slender manatee over there.
Slender manatee.
In fact, why is it you two are still pointicular? In the presence of sea dwellers, you should be bowed at right anglers. The first sea dweller seems to have an affinity for cheesy ocean puns. I just thought it was all three of them speaking.
Yeah, hang on a second. That first one doesn't make any sense. That's not what perpendicular means.
Mason, you think any of this shit makes sense?
Perpendicular to the ground,
to
I
the
get it.
ground, yeah.
That's okay. That was.
No, actually, what's happening here that we can't
come you
see
two be
is
forming
Karako
an
is
L
actually.
shape?
Yeah, I was actually.
cross.
What we can't see is Karako is not actually stood on the ground. Karako is stood on the MSPA reader's hip, directly parallel to the ground. Stood perfectly upright, but
Like a
out
floating
from the
wheelbarrow
MSPA
race.
Yeah, a little bit.
You bow to the sea dwellers. You have your dignity, but you'd also like not getting killed.
Oh.
Oh Jesus.
Karako remains stubbornly upright, his face getting angrier and purpler by the moment. The bladed weapons in his belt jingle from his enraged trembling. Oh. Oh, this sea little clownfish. He's getting angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
That one was good. I'll
That
give
one-
them that one.
I don't want to give them any points, but I feel I have to give them at least a point.
Looks like he's gonna shit his pants.
Where was the C pun in that?
Got him.
Fish shit.
There wasn't. That's why I
close
went.
enough.
Hey, bro, this guy looks
That's why
like
I
he's
went to
gonna
the
shit
bottom.
himself.
He looks like he's gonna
Hey
fucking
guys, I've been
diarrhea.
watching this new fucking series recently. It's called Has Been Hotel. I'm gonna base my entire
funny.
fucking sense of humor about this shit. Anyway.
Don't you fucking understand? I'm literally Alistair. I'm the radio dude.
Radiohead.
I play
do it to
Radiohead
yourself.
because it's got radio in it.
And that's what
He
really
got radio in it. He's got radio in it, guys. He got radio.
Radio no head.
What did I tell you about your face, boy? Didn't your Lucis teach you anything?
So no Radiohead.
I doubt he even has a Lucis. A self-respecting Lucis would never let a shrimp like that out of the hive. Unless his Lucis is just as defective.
Oh,
Oh,
it's like the.
too much for Karako. Oh, sorry, go Mason.
I was just gonna say it's just like the defective massage machine from Wall-E just like leaps forward and just destroys all three of them.
Incredible.
Ignoring your hissed warnings, he suddenly leaps snarling into the air. Draws bladed weapons from his belt and in each hand and hurtles towards the speed dwellers.
Ooh, animated text.
God. Oh, that's a new one.
I've wedged 3 clown horns into one hand to get this.
I thought it sounded especially discordant.
Yeah, that's because one of them makes this noise, and the other two. So when combined. Well. Okay, so we're going to leap into the fray. Are we going to Persona 3 ourselves against some Sea Dwellers, or are we going to Persona 3 ourselves against Karako?
Let's just Persona 3 ourselves, the third option, and not get involved.
Stand here.
Let's pull the sands off and just not take our turn.
The sans option of just sitting here on the choice screen forever so nothing bad happens.
Alright, that's it, everyone. Thank you for coming out.
Karako can never reach the Sea Dwellers if we just never pick an option. We stay
You will
here
never
forever,
reach the
baby.
truth of Karako's attack.
Are you out
MSPA
there
reader
indecisive or
requiem.
stuck in a bad situation? Just simply refuse to allow time to pass.
Well, I guess we're not reaching the end of this episode. Roll that outro.
Okay, so which one are we picking though?
Let's leap into the fray.
Yeah, let's jump
fuck
into the
it.
fray.
Why not?
Why
At
not?
this point.
You leap into the fray to lend comfort and support. You would have counseled Karako to turn the other cheek and keep turning cheek after cheek until the Sea Dwellers got fed up and went away, but now things have hotted up. You're not about to let down the side.
Pass me a knife.
Karako crashes into the Sea Dwellers, his bladed weapons whirling like a blender. You scamper close behind him, kick someone in the shin, and hurts your foot, but doesn't seem to have any other effects.
Yeah. We ain't dealing with bandits no more. We're dealing with, like, fucking sea dwellers.
Yeah,
They are built for tough.
These Sea Dwellers are made of tough stuff, or you're extremely flimsy. Signs have recently pointed to the latter.
What do you mean recently?
All of the signs have always pointed to
to
this.
Signs have always pointed to the latter.
Your next sortie is more effective, however. Quickly thinking, you pick up a rock and throw it at the trigger root of a spring thorn growing along the path next to where the violet bloods are enduring Hurricane Cloud. The coil stalk springs out, impaling the dude with a 12-foot-long thorns. He's thrown off balance, and violet blood begins to flow copiously down his body. That's a hue you haven't seen before. Kinda pretty.
Uh-oh. Have we been spending too much time with Amicia?
No, we've been spending too much time with the fucking... Oh, fuck, what's her name?
Which one? Describe.
The other clown.
Chahut.
Sure, yeah.
Chahut, that's it, Chahut.
Anyways.
But these Sea Dwellers are made of tough stuff. He yanks the springthorn stalk away from him, pulling the thorns out and flinging it into the woods. He then takes out a pocket handkerchief and starts patting his injuries gently.
You motherfucker.
Bougie
What
piece
a
of shit.
pretentious... Bougie piece, yeah. Meanwhile, Karako's bladed weapons have not been idle. The other two Sea Dwellers are likewise leaking violet blood. These bastards are hard to kill, you remember Polypa telling you that. You watch as one of them grabs one of the bladed weapons from Karako's hand and buries it in Karako's stomach.
Oh.
No!
This, unsurprisingly, is distracting for a poor little clown, allowing two of the finny sons of bitches to grab handfuls of bladed weapons from his belt and bury them in various parts of his body. You dance around delivering harmless kicks and curses. Karako is still waving his weapons, but he seems to be waving them more slowly now. Then, as more and more bladed weapons are buried in his body, he seems to lose focus. The weapons he's been brandishing fall from his hands. Finally, he falls to the ground, in the center of a spreading pool of purple blood, twitches feebly for a minute, and then is still.
No.
You stare in disbelief at the corpse of one who, if he'd just been spared for just a short while longer, would have been your friend. One despised and rejected, fond of suffering, familiar with pain. They had flogged him and mocked him and spit on him, and then killed him. You struggled to come to terms with this. While you're doing that, one of the remaining Sea Dwellers grabs you by the hair. You have hair?
Wait, what?
Huh? Hair?
Excuse me?
When did they get that?
Bro's just had a toupee the whole time.
If it was a toupee.
Oh, grand. We take check all cap.
No, they had a bald cap on the whole time.
Super glued. Just super glued. And suplexes you onto the ground. Your head snaps back and pain explodes behind your eyes. You are left lying on your back and trying to stay conscious, which is why you have a good view of what happens next. In the dark sky above you, something opens. Something even darker than the sky. A hole, like a cave in the clouds. It widens until you see that the cave is in the cave, a carousel of wooden horses mounted on brass posts rotates. The horses plunging up and down in time with carnival music played by a mechanical organ. Riding the horses are naked store window mannequins, their legs slung awkwardly over the horses' backs, their stiff arms down by their sides in whatever pose they were created, their horns huge and widely shaped.
Is this hell?
In the darkness above the carousel, other naked mannequins and with plastic wings tied to their backs are supported on wires, and above these in turn a net of white Christmas tree lights twinkling at the roof of the dark cave or circus tent, or whatever it is, throwing their dim starlight illumination down on the rotating carousel. As you watch, two of the winged mannequins break loose from their wires and fly down from that dark region into the night sky from the dimension Alternia occupies. They maneuver until their stiff hands on the ends of their stiff arms are underneath Karako, and then they lift him up into the sky, into the dark carnival.
Karako has gone to fucking Clown Valhalla.
God, bro.
Valhonka.
Also, let's also not forget, in that first panel, there was a fenestrated plane there.
I saw that.
I wasn't going to bring it up at the moment because we were kind of having a dramatic moment, but now that we're kind of back out of that for a second, yeah, let's not forget that. That's definitely going to be important.
We watched the whole thing happen. You hear a last faint, reviving honk as they set him on one of the wooden horses. And then the hole in the sky closes, and there's nothing but the night sky above you. You just had a fucking religious experience. And then all is still again. God! The Phoenician scheme! An odd feeling comes over you. You don't think you've ever felt such a feeling. Just the reality of how utterly insignificant you are. Sure, you've spent the last few months wandering with no desire but the desire for connection. And you are, in a way, a being unique in this galaxy. But honestly, what does that even mean? You flit in and out of people's lives. There one minute, gone the next. Always moving from friend to friend. You are, for all intents and purposes, a virtual non-entity. A bland point-of-view vector and neutral second-person narrator barely coming into the picture. A retiring entity expressing a simple one-dimensional desire for friendship. But just about now, you feel that things have gone pretty far. And just about now, you feel that you've had enough. Enough of arrogant high bloods. Enough, in fact, of short wavelength hemotypes carelessly and without compunction, killing and maiming and exploiting those of longer wavelengths. Of a survival of the fittest regime that seems to come down to the survival of the most violent psychopaths. Is this a moral universe, or is it not? You ask yourself. Are repulsive cruelty and sickening evil punished in this universe, or are they not? Does an ethical force operate in this universe, or does it not? You don't know the answer to these questions, but you do know one thing. You intend to depart for once from your one-dimensional persona. You intend to punish repulsive cruelty and sickening evil, if it comes within your ability to do so. You intend to create an ethical force field in your local region. You intend to exert some moral gravity right around where you are, if you possibly can. You realize that this odd feeling you are having seems to be drawing out moral Higgs bosons out of the Higgs bosons have the moral ground state, and right at the fabrics of this multicolored blood planet that heaves under your feet. You take on the aspect of Clown Sarko. Seizing 2 cans of an expensive soft drink from where they fell from Karako's bandoliers, you shake them and pull the pins. Then, with malice aforethought, you direct the twin streams at the sea dwellers. You smell banana and strawberry as the deadly streams play upon them. Already weakened, they fall back with cries under the withering onslaught. As soon as the streams slacken, you take out 2 more cans, shake them, and deal out death to the unrighteous. You smell peach and diet root beer this time. But no pity softens your heart. You wouldn't care even if it were pineapple watermelon you were spraying on these brutes. But these finheads are made of tough stuff. Rallying even in the face of this intense onslaught, they push forward and, seizing some bladed weapons from the purple blood pool, advance upon you. Not one step back. You vow to the memory of Caraco Piero. You stand your ground in desperation, grabbing some cans of diet tonic water and club soda, and opening your batteries once again. But to no avail. A trident pierces you to the bone, followed by a scimitar, a tomahawk, a short spear, and so many other bladed weapons that the sheer weight of them drives you to the ground, while your red, precious blood flows in moderate streams, mixing with the purple of your proto-friend. This is your end, you realize, but you are glad you died in righteous battle. You're glad you created even the tiny, sputtering, temporary moral force field in your local region that you did. You can feel your life and narrative point of view slipping away. You are content. Yet, what's that above you now? A dark space has opened up, even darker than the night sky, and 2 stiff-looking winged fingers are descending. They land next to you and gently place their stiff hands under you. Then they ascend once again, lifting you higher and higher into the darker space. You pass the boundary of the heavenly carnival. Your life seems to revive within you as the fabric of the place closes around you, and the 2 stiff mannequins place you on a carousel horse next to Caracal. You realize that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmoses come and go, but friendship is forever. I fucking hated that. Oh, that's sad. That's so fucking depressing.
Damn, we died.
We both died.
Yee.
Anyway, let's not fight.
Well, let's Scarpa instead.
Was that that can't have been the good ending?
I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
That was a great.
Yeah. That actually, the next 4 chapters, the next 4 volumes, they don't exist. Actually, that isn't real, and MSPA Arena canonically dies, and nothing else happens. The next 4 volumes are just, you're dead. You have to forgive yourself, person playing.
Got to move on.
You've got to move on, person playing Hiveswap Friendsim. You have to move on.
Wake up.
The volume 14 bad ending wasn't your fault. And then the game closes itself. Anyway, let's Scarpa.
uninstalls itself from your computer.
Yeah, every time you reinstall it, it just goes, you have to move on, and uninstalls itself again. You don't even have to click play for it to happen. It just finishes installing, and then it does that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You leap forward and grab Karako by the coattails. Or by his belt. You aren't actually sure what a coattail is? Jesus, he's strong. You can barely hold him. It's like trying to restrain a small truck.
Tell him a coat.
His legs rotate wildly, kicking up a cloud of...
It's not that difficult of a concept to understand, I'm afraid.
That's a real difficult one, actually. I couldn't...
Yeah, there's actually a secret...
Bro's just built stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yes.
we knew this. Yeah, this is canon. Anyway.
Alright.
Yeah, what's a cocktail
We're gonna have to beeline this, because we need to...
Yeah, we gotta speed run.
Sorry.
His legs rotate wildly, kicking up a cloud of dust, and he brandishes his bladed weapons wildly in the direction of the Sea Dwellers. After a startled moment in which they jump backward, the Sea Dwellers have started to laugh again, coming up with more stupid insults and fish puns. This is not helping. Karako runs twice as hard, honks twice as loud, shakes his weapons twice as threateningly. Hey, you shout at Karako, trying to be heard above the fracas, holding on with all your might and digging in your heels. You have half the mind to just let him go, to pay the Sea Dwellers back for their insults, but you try to keep a cool head. You're doing your proto-friend much more good trying to restrain his wrath. You've now succeeded in wrapping your arms all the way around him, and now you get in front of him, holding him back with straight arms, bellowing soothingly into his face and trying to avoid the bladed weapons he's brandishing. But it's not working. You can see from the contorted features, the bared teeth, the distended nostrils with smoke coming out, the blazing eyes, that Karako is getting more and more enraged. And suddenly his rage seems to reach a kindling point. His body vibrates violently. His eyes grow huge and round. And suddenly from his body, something like a nuclear blast pressure wave of fear and violence sends you flying through the air like a scrap of paper in a gale. What the fuck? You're hallucinating? But you can see, as you saw up above the path, that Sea Dwellers aren't laughing anymore. In fact, they're screaming in terror and fleeing wildly, blundering into razor leaves and being impaled by spring thorns and burned by pod acid, and generally receiving a stern retribution that awaits assholes. Then you collide with a tree branch and are rendered unable to narrate for a while. Me when I'm unable to narrate.
Me when.
You wake up lying in the dust. As consciousness returns, you realize you are lying on the back. And as it returns further, that a small clown-painted figure is seated next to you. Quite calm now. He smiles fondly as he sees you set up. You smile in return. You express relief that he realizes you are acting in his best interests, holding him back because back from the Finheads, and now largely because of his unexpected burst of clown sorcery or whatever that was, everything has turned out for the best. Karako holds up his arms for a hug, but then remembering the bladed weapons in his belt, sticks out his hand. You shake it warmly.
Hooray!
Yay!
Hey!
Buddy!
Okay,
And
so that
Mason-
was a good ending.
And Mason didn't get to say anything!
Yeah!
Shut up, Mason!
Yeah!
I suppose you could say, it's no use!
And you did just have to take this. So, gang, what do we think of this here episode of Hiveswap
I actually
Friendsim?
thought
What
it
do we
was
think?
really awesome, and though that was obviously the bad ending, I really enjoyed the like intensity of
Okay.
Yeah, the weird.
I will say now, I like
clown
the
afterlife.
bad ending. Now that I know it is the bad ending.
It was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, June. I don't see how you thought it was the only ending. Or the only good ending. We have 4 volumes to go. The MSPA reader literally can't die.
I don't know. Timeline bullshit.
Yeah, maybe we just decide, Karako is the only character that you just straight cannot be friends with on the Alpha timeline under any circumstances. No timeline
just on
mods.
timeline
It's
C,
doomed
clown
forever. Yeah, timeline clown.
the clown line.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it's outro time. I'll speed through this. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you very much like this video and want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. We upload episodes of Reading Homestuck every Monday or Tuesday, depending on your time zone. And we upload other things on Thursdays or Fridays, again, depending on your time zone. Other things like Diggin' Rimper. It's sort of an improv comedy, board game, Danganronpa parody thing. Oh my god, that traffic. It's fun. These 3 players, one psychopathic idiot with a bunch of companions who are all also varying degrees of psychopathic or idiot. Also check out all Fireman Sam. There's also Fireman Sam, which is like Fireman Sam, I guess. But yes, you can also check out Dicey Deeds, our tabletop role-playing game series. We've done stuff like Lancer, that's our main series. We play as the Canaries, a Suicide Squad-esque group of oddballs and convicts doing various incredibly dangerous missions in mechs. We've also done stuff like Honey Heist, Call of Cthulhu, Morkborg, and so many more to come. Cyborg coming, maybe not soon necessarily, but like along the... It's going to be happening at some point within the next couple months, probably. Maybe. I don't know. But you can also check out Writing Homestuck. We made an episode of that recently. That will be coming out the week after this video goes up. It's a fun little sort of fan fiction-ish series where we have been putting together a storyline focusing on various characters of our making in the technical world of Homestuck. You can also check me out. You can also check me out on Tumblr and on Blue Sky. On Tumblr, I post the images that I make for Writing Homestuck. Not on Blue Sky. The image stuff, the image sharing stuff on Blue Sky is dog shit. But yes, you can check the stuff I make for Writing Homestuck out on Tumblr. On both, you can also send me asks, send me DMs, send me whatsoever you choose. YouTube does sometimes eat comments, which is very frustrating for all involved. So. If you really want me to see something, or really want one of my friends here to see something, send it to me over there, and I will be sure to get back to you on it. You can also follow June on Tumblr, Blue Sky, and on Instagram. June.
Yeah, you can follow me those places. There will be content soon.
Soon.
Patience.
Patience.
I went to a convention. I did a photo shoot. There will be content. It will be coming.
Hell yes. And you can also follow Arthur on Twitch. Arthur.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. GMT. That's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard for you Americans. Yeah, just streaming Omori at the moment, having a bit of fun with it. Probably going to do Deltarune next. Going to have some fun with all the different routes on that. Stuff like that. I'm just doing a bit of a classic RPG thing at the moment, really falling in love with a lot of them. And that's streaming at twitch.tv/PENNEDRAIG. That's twitch.tv/Pendrag.
Hell yes. And Mason, do you have anything you wish to say at the end of this here episode of Reading Homestuck Hiveswap Friendsim?
Only to say thank you all so much for watching. We love making these. We hope you love watching them. Keep an eye out for the next Writing Homestuck. That was a ton of fun, and we really enjoyed making it. Keep an eye out for more Lancer and Diggin' Rimper 2, and whatever else we've got coming down the pipeline.
Well, it's not Diggin' Rimper 2, but anyway,
but
yes.
Diggin' Rimper, comma, TOO.
Yeah. Oh, it's just being...
Diggin' Rimper as well.
Diggin' Rimper
He's being a pedant again.
Yes, I do that often. Anyways... We shall see you.
I don't like pendants, I prefer necklaces.
we shall see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye. Bye.